Everyone in India, from a farmer in the field to a student in the city, is about to feel the tremors of a new tax shakeup. The tremors of GST 2.0. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Pratishta Raghav, and this is Point Blank. GST 2.0 is India's overhaul on the goods and services tax. The GST Council meeting that took place on 3rd September 2025 has approved major rationalizations. It has simplified slabs, it has lowered taxes on essentials, and increased on luxury or sin goods. But why the change? Well, as we all know, there were four major slabs before this: 5%, 8%, 18%, and 28%, plus cesses, plus frequent disputes over classification. It was complex. It taxed similar items differently. It irritated customers. It made compliance difficult for businesses. GST 2.0 intends to fix that. It aims to make it more predictable, easier to administer, including transparency. Now, let's take an overview of the key changes that will occur from 22nd September 2025. Slab rationalization. If we were to speak about it, the 12% and 28% GST slabs are being abolished for most goods. The main slabs remaining are 5% and 18%. In addition, there's a 40% special rate for certain sin and luxury goods. Life saving drugs and medicines move from 12% to nil, some from 5% to nil. Ultra high temperature or UHT milk, paneer, chena, Indian breads will attract nil GST. Reduction to 5% for many daily use and consumable goods such as toiletries, household goods, processed foods. Items that were in the 12 or 18% come down to 5%. 18% slab will now cover many goods and services that previously had higher GST. For example, small cars, two wheelers, TVs, ACs, dishwashers. 40% slabs reserved for sin and luxury items. Examples include beverages with sugar, flavor, carbonation, high end cars, tobacco products, pan masala, etc. Compensation cesses. For many goods, the additional compensation cess that piled on top of GST will be removed. But for some sin goods, they continue under existing rates plus cess until liabilities on the compensation cess account are cleared. All of these changes take effect 22nd September 2025, except for specified sin goods, for which transition continues. Now let's discuss what our wallets will feel on a day-to-day purchase basis. Let's talk about what will become cheaper. So grocery or food staples will become cheap as no GST will be applied to them in most cases. Speaking about household essentials such as shampoos, hair oils, they will shift from the 12 or 18% tax bracket to 5% in most cases. Health or medicines will now experience zero or nil GST, and agriculture or farming inputs will also see lower rates. On the flip side, luxury or sin goods now move to the 40% tax slab, such as A rated drinks or high end cars. So they either retain their old higher rates or go even higher. Also, some items that are now at nil GST still will not yield full relief as their input cost may still be taxed, such as notebooks are now at nil GST, but paper still remains taxed. The GST 2.0 situation has now divided the population into two groups. One, winners. Second, trade offs. Under the category of winners, we have everyday consumers, farmers and rural consumers, healthcare sector, small businesses, and MSMEs. And in the category of trade offs, we have the people who will consume luxury or sin goods, as now they come under the category of 40% tax bracket. And the consumers who may not get full relief if the retailers or distributors do not approve of the pricing. And also businesses that will face the ITC credit issues, as we discussed earlier. And now, along with this divide, we also have important challenges that we need to face as an economy. Speaking about the first one is the input tax credit mismatch. For items now zero or lower, their raw materials or inputs may still be taxed at higher rates. Second, transitional inventory issues. Products brought under old GST slabs or priced before 22nd September may lead to stock kept at higher cost, which businesses must deal with. Third, enforcement and compliance. Ensuring that rate changes are properly implemented, the misclassification is avoided, that businesses actually reduce selling prices and do not exploit consumer ignorance. Revenue impact on states and center. Forecast revenue loss is significant. The government has estimated certain loss but hopes it will be offset by higher consumption, better compliance, and growth. The goods continue under old GST are sin or delayed or phased implementation until the compensation cess liabilities are clear. So full impact isn't uniform. Consumer expectation versus reality. Many will expect big price drops overnight. Some will get them. Others may see only partial benefit depending on how supply chains adjust retailer margins, etc. Now let's play out a few hypothetical scenarios so that what you pay becomes clear to you. Suppose you buy a toothpaste of 100 rupees. It first fell into the GST bracket of 18%. Now it falls under the GST bracket of 5%. So now your 15 rupee GST becomes 4 rupees approximately. So in calculation, you save 10 rupee per every 100 rupee product. As a household which buys many such items, it all adds up and benefits us immensely. Now, let's take another example of a small petrol or CNG car, less than 1200 cc, not more than 4000 mm in length. It first fell under the 28% tax bracket and now it falls under the 18% tax bracket. But on the flip side, if we were to talk about luxury items, per se, a sugary aerated drink, it is still high, it will still come under the higher cost or even higher. Because luxury items, there is very, very low chance of any upside. To summarize, GST 2.0 is a big structural reform. It simplifies slabs, cuts tax on essentials, keeps higher rates for luxury and sin goods, and makes compliance easier. If you're a consumer, you should start seeing some relief in your everyday expenses. If you're in business, prepare now. Adjust pricing, accounting systems, inventory, understand what slabs your items fall under. And if you see that tax cuts are not showing up in prices or businesses holding back, speak up. Be aware. Because GST is made for the people and its success depends on both law and honest execution. You all have been a wonderful audience. I was Pritish Raghav. This was Point Blank. I'll see you all in the next one. Jai Hind.